surprises. Ladies and gentlemen, the terrible Elephant Man.
At first, you will want to turn away from him. Then, you may find him a silent, unresisting target for your ridicule.
Stand up.
Stand up! Turn around! Mister, why is your head so big, mister?
But if you come to know him,
have you always been the way you are now?
you will begin to see beyond the perversion of his form.
Are you in any pain? Are your parents still alive? Your father, your mother?
And discover the beauty in the beast.
He is English. He is 21. His name is John Merrick. At no time have I met with such a perverted or degraded version of a human being as this man.
Might we assume, then, that he is ultimately incurable?
Yes, sir.
This hospital doesn't accept incurables. The
Freak hunting. This is monstrous.
If you ask my opinion, he's only being stared at all over again.
People pay money to see your monster, Mr. Treves. I'll collect it.
You're the monster, you're the freak.
What was it all for? Why did I do it?
And perhaps for the first time, you will understand the true meaning of courage and human dignity.
I am not an animal. I am a human being.
You're not an elephant man at all. You're Romeo.
Anthony Hopkins, Anne Bancroft, Sir John Gielgud, Wendy Hiller, and John Hurt as the Elephant Man. Coming from Paramount Pictures.
Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to another movie review. And this review is going to be on The Elephant Man. Released in 1980, the film stars Anthony Hopkins, John Hurt, Anne Bancroft, Freddie Jones, John Gielgud, and Wendy Hiller. And the film is based on the true story of John Merrick, who was a man that lived in London, and his face was all deformed. He was born like that. And the film was directed by the late great David Lynch, who passed away back in January. David Lynch, very good director. May he rest in peace. The only David Lynch film that I watched before this was Dune, his original Dune from 1984, which was very boring, in my opinion. The new Dune is so much better than David Lynch's version of the film. And David Lynch also co-wrote the film. And the film's production company is Brooksfilms, which is Mel Brooks's company, to which Mel Brooks executive produced the film, but he went uncredited. And the only reason why he went uncredited is to have the audiences not anticipate the film being a comedy, because we all know Mel Brooks, he is very familiar in doing comedy films. So I thought that was a good way for Mel Brooks to not put his name, in the credits, because, like I said, people would think that this was a comedy film. But I saw the film last night. My local Alamo Draft House had a screening of it, and I never seen the film before until last night, and it is a very good movie. It's wonderfully done. It's directed really well by David Lynch. The cinematography is absolutely amazing. I liked how the way, was shot, black and white, considering the time period that the story was set in, and just wonderful acting from Anthony Hopkins and John Hurt. And this is not a film that you rewatch all the time, because it is a very depressing film. It is very sad, but it's one of those films that when you watch it, you don't rewatch it again. If you're in the mood to rewatch it, be like, oh well, let me watch The Elephant Man. Let me just pop it on and watch it, and then after it's over, not watch it for a while. So it's one of those films. But basically, what the film is about is it's set in London in the late 19th century, and it follows the true story of John Merrick, who is played by John Hurt. And John Merrick was a guy that was born, his face was very deformed, and pretty much, he was part of a freak show. And they were, calling him the Elephant Man. And pretty much Frederick Treves, who was played by Anthony Hopkins, he is a surgeon at the London hospital, and he finds Merrick at this freak show. And Merrick, hides himself. He hides, himself in a hood. He has, he wears a hat, and he is kept at this freak show by Mr. Bites, who was played by Freddie Jones. And Freddie Jones, I've seen him in a few films. He did Krull, which I haven't seen in a while, but I remember really enjoying it. He was also in Dune, David Lynch's Dune, Young Sherlock Holmes, which I had fun with. And then he was also in The Neverending Story 3, which was awful, where he played Coriander. And that was the film with Jason James Richer, and Jack Black was the bully in that film, which he was the only good thing about that film. But pretty much Anthony Hopkins as Gervais, he ends up paying Bites to have Merrick brought to the hospital for examination. And there's a scene where Anthony Hopkins as Gervais, ends up presenting Merrick to his colleagues at the hospital, and they highlight Merrick's abnormalities. And he mentions about Merrick's deformed skull, which forces Merrick to sleep with his head on his knees. And pretty much Merrick is kept at the hospital by Anthony Hopkins' character. He is tended there, and pretty much when he's at the hospital, a lot of people are frightened by him. The nurses are frightened by him. And pretty much Gervais, Anthony Hopkins' character, ends up, teaching Merrick, played by John Hurt, to, speak and present himself, which he eventually successfully does. And pretty much, that's basically what the plot to the film is about. But this was a very good movie. It is a masterpiece. It's very well done, wonderfully directed, great cinematography, and also the chemistry between Anthony Hopkins and John Hurt was absolutely great. Anthony Hopkins, in his role as Frederick Gervais, very good. John Hurt as John Merrick, also very good as well. John Hurt was nominated for an Academy Award for the film, and the film was nominated for 8 Academy Awards. It was nominated for Best Picture, for Best Director, Best Actor, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Art Direction, Best Costume Design, Best Film Editing, and Best Original Score. And unfortunately, none of them won an Oscar, which is sad because I think that that John Hurt should have won for Best Actor here because his role was absolutely fantastic as John Merrick. And David Lynch should have won for Best Director because of how well directed this film is. Also, you have Anne Bancroft in the film, which it was good to see Anne Bancroft. May she rest in peace. Freddie Jones plays Mr. Bites, who is the evil ringmaster of the freak show that he keeps John Merrick in and calls it the Elephant Man. And he's an asshole, which he ends up beating on Merrick. You also have the real Frederick Gervais in the film, where he plays Elderman, who is the grandnephew of Anthony Hopkins' character, Frederick Gervais. You also have Michael Elphick, who plays Jim Renshaw, who is a night porter, which his character is also an asshole as well, that pretty much bullies Merrick, where there's one scene where he comes into Merrick's room with these people to have those people see what Merrick looks like, and they're pretty much partying with Merrick, and he's pouring, alcohol, for Merrick, just in his mouth, just an asshole character. And, you really feel bad for Merrick in the film. This is based on his, real life of what he went through. But the film blew me away from right when we get introduced to Anthony Hopkins, Gervais, when he goes and sees Merrick being kept by Bites. And, Bites ends up going, lights! And then we don't see Merrick, you just see that close-up of Anthony Hopkins' face all shocked and he's tearing up. That's where I finally got so into the story, and it just made me, not want to turn away from, anything that I was doing while watching the film, like while eating or anything like that. I was hooked right from there. But The Elephant Man, very good movie, very depressing, very sad as well. It's a film that you all should definitely check out, and after you watch the film, it's one of those films that you are not going to forget. Like, it sticks with you, and of course you have, the famous line from Merrick when, he's at the London Liverpool street station, where he's being chased and cornered by a mob, and then he ends up saying, "I am not an elephant. I am not an animal. I am a human being. I am a man." This very heartbreaking scene there, but it's one of the most famous lines from the film. But definitely check out The Elephant Man. Like I said, it's not a film that you can rewatch all the time. It's like, if you're in the mood to watch the film after you saw it down the line, be like, all right, I'll watch it, I'll enjoy it. And then, after you watch it again, you're like, I'll come back to it, in, the years to come. So, but definitely check out The Elephant Man. Great movie. It's a masterpiece, and it is, worth checking out. So I have the other Criterion release here, which has a lot of good features on it. And the packaging is like this. It slips out. You have Anthony Hopkins there as Gervais. pretty cool Blu-ray here, released by Criterion. We got a book in here just talking about the film. And yeah, pretty cool. This is what this scene looks like when he's part of the freak show. You got a nice picture of Anthony Hopkins there. That's what Merrick goes around wearing, the hood and the hat there. That's the scene where he goes on the boat back to Liverpool. Then you also have, this is Freddie Jones here as Mr. Bites. Just great, very well done, essay book on the film, just talking about it. Here's the famous ending scene, which is very sad. Very nicely detailed, essay book on the film. Yeah, check out The Elephant Man. It's one film that you all must see before you die. So, but yeah. Anyway, that's it for my review of The Elephant Man. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and until next video, I'll see you all later.